Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hey Hi Tech Talks. I'm your host Cody and this is
Zach. Hello, everybody.
And today we have wonderful news for you, starting with Zach's news. What do you have for us?
I'd like to talk about how the NSA almost killed the internet. Now, the NSA is the National Security Agency. I'm sure everybody knows about them. You've seen iFunny posts about them, just random pictures on the internet, people making fun of them. What the National Security Agency is supposed to do is they run the internet, basically. They make sure that what we search, we're not looking up how to build a bomb, we're not looking up how to make bomb water, or turn a Snickers bar into C4 or an IED, just improvised explosive device. So they're pretty important, but they need to mind their own business. Yes, you heard me. They need to mind their own business. Here's why. The NSA almost killed the internet. Now this goes back in June. There was a person at a British newspaper had talked to somebody who his name was Edward Snowden, a 29-year-old IT consultant who left the US with hundreds of thousands of documents detailing the NSA secret procedures. And one of them was actually called PRISM. I'll get to PRISM in a second, but get this. This is about Verizon. Everybody knows who Verizon is. They internet provider, cell phone company. They're a big deal. The telecommunications giant, Verizon, voluntarily handed out a database of every call made on its network to the National Security Agency. That's not okay. I can understand if NSA wanted to go through Verizon, and if someone who may be a terrorist or someone who they may suspect being a terrorist, which that could be anybody, honestly, nowadays. I can understand if they wanted to do that to make sure that we were all safe. But seriously, Verizon handing over all of our calls. You know, I feel safe because I'm not with Verizon as a phone provider or an internet provider. I have a local company called Frontier, and you know, honestly, I can say that I'm glad I'm not with Verizon. I've just never really liked them growing up. Now next, to PRISM, what I mentioned earlier. This was a top secret NSA program. The Edward Snowden man that I mentioned before, his files indicate that some of the biggest companies on the web had granted the NSA and FBI direct access to their servers, giving the agencies complete and total ability to grab all of a person's audio, visual, photos, emails, you name it, documents. If someone wanted to post on Google Drive about how they don't really like the upcoming elections, just like as a joke with one of their friends, and they said like, I hate our, like, if someone said, I wish Obama would just die, NSA is going to be able to read that. FBI will be able to read it. They can look into it. If you come from Saudi Arabia or someplace in the Middle East, then they may actually consider you a threat. That's not okay. What do you think about that?
Well, that's very interesting. So the email stuff that you were talking about a little while ago, about how if you say something like, I wish Obama was dead because he's a communist and he's actually white and da-da-da-da-da. Those were actually known about for a few months. It's called the red flag servers. Mm-hmm. So basically what the red flag servers do is when someone says, I wish Obama was dead, a red flag goes up, basically goes bing, and then it goes across these little wires and takes it to the NSA government. This is well within their right to do this because it is a red flag towards the country. Granted, it is an invasion of privacy, but however, sometimes you have to do something in order to save the country. So, in a way, I do agree that they are intruding on some of our privacy, but sometimes I just wonder if it's needed, it's justified, because it keeps us secure. Granted that sometimes our privacy gets kind of evoked upon. I myself, being joined with the Navy, they have to look through my background stuff, my personal life. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. In my situation, it's a good thing, because I'm doing everything fine. But other people out there that are from the South, sorry for our Southern viewers, they may have a harder time with this, mainly because when you get red flagged on here, and there's enough red flags, it can be used against you if you were to, say, get a government job. Because then it can be used as evidence that you may do something illegal regarding the president.
Now, honestly, how I feel about this situation like this dates back to 1940s. All of you know about the attack on Pearl Harbor. It was the darkest day in American history. After Pearl Harbor, the U.S. president at the time decided that it was a good idea to round up everybody who was Asian American. whether they're from Vietnam, Japan, China, any place that'd be considered Asian. They took them all, and all of them that were in the western seaboard. So everybody from the state Washington all the way down to the southern tip of California, even inwards. A lot of them were brought into football fields, and they were put into what was known as concentration camps. They didn't quite call them that. They gave them something with a little bit of a nicer name, but they were still concentration camps nonetheless. Now, they didn't force them to work. They didn't do gas chambers on the ones who refused to work. It was just supposed to protect them. Protect them from what? Now, I can understand there are some people who were really angry at the time, 1940s. They weren't the best for civil rights, so I can understand Bobby Joe's dad hates the commies, and here's something like that happening at Pearl Harbor. He gets mad, takes it out on his next door neighbor, a stereotypical Asian named Wang, and just beats the Wang out of him. And I could understand they want to protect people from that, but when it comes to rounding up the entire Asian American population, they took that way too far. And that was just the US government, not even the NSA. Now what the NSA can do now is, it's beyond belief. It's scary, really, how much they could do. They can make something like that with anybody from the Middle East. Some people would actually like that, honestly. Honestly, I'm not saying I'm against it or that I'm with it, but they take it too far. I think that we should still have our privacy. I feel like we should be entitled to our opinions. I don't have much of a say on the president. Granted, I just turned 18 recently, I just registered to vote recently, and I didn't really follow politics. All I know is that it seems like whoever is president has to deal with a bunch of crap. And whenever times are good, then everybody loves him. Kennedy, for example, he was considered like an amazing president because things weren't that bad at the time. When Bush became president, when he started, he was liked, and then once it kind of started all going downhill, everybody started hating him just because he made mistakes.
Yes. And if you have an opinion on the matter, feel free to leave it in the comments and we'll be sure to get right back to you. Right below!
Yes, right below.
Right below. Alright, moving on to my neck of the woods with video game news. Let's get started with the common one here, Flappy Bird. As we all know, Flappy Bird is a game that is for your phone. Well, recently, it has been taken off the iOS App Store and also Google Play. So now, you can no longer purchase this game, even though purchasing is kind of a harsh word because it was for free. And the person that was involved with the game, a Vietnamese fellow, said, and I quote, "It was invading too much on his personal life, and he hates it now." These were exactly what he said, according to IGN. Link will be below on the news in more detail. However, some people will say this is a good thing, because technically speaking, he is true. It intruded on everyone's life. I have it on my phone, but now I can't delete it because now it's an icon, because you can no longer get it. You never know, maybe it'll make your phone be worth a lot more than it is now. What do you think? You think it was well worth it for him to get rid of it?
I think that it was well deserved. I feel like once the Flappy Bird craze started to really rise up, maybe it was time to get rid of it, because I have an Instagram account and there were so many posts daily of somebody arguing with their best friend, and in the comment section that they left, their comment said that moment when you hate your best friend because you suck at Flappy Bird. And I've gotten into arguments before with some of my friends because they were playing Flappy Bird and I said Flappy Bird's stupid. They said that I have no taste in gaming. I think it's just a phone app, but people took it way too seriously. I guess it's how Angry Birds was, except Angry Birds actually made a name for itself, started its own toy line. They actually stuck through with it. But I've heard all kinds of things. I heard that the guy who originally created this game actually wasn't that great at it and got mad at it and decided that it was just time to get rid of it. So that's just one thing that I've heard. I doubt that that's entirely true, but just something to think about.
Yes. With Flappy Bird, what he was meaning there was people were getting mad at him and sending him messages and threats and such that it probably stressed him out a little bit, mainly because the pipes that were in it looked like they were from Super Mario Brothers. Now, in a way, it is true, mainly because it is the same shaders and the same texture as the ones in Mario. So, he says they were original, however, I don't think they're quite original, considering Mario had the idea for pipes with their game, the Mario Brothers, and so on and so forth. So really, he's not really bringing in an original idea. All you do is tap your phone to make him go through the pipe. And it's so hard to get it through because the invisible wall is just so weird, and once you crash into it, you're dead. The end. You gotta start over again, causing rage between everyone. My high score is 23, and it just ticks me off every time. Now the game is feeling bad for me and gives me a gold medal every time I get past 10. So, it's a little ridiculous. It makes me feel dumb. Thanks, maker of Flappy Bird. Moving on to Dying Light. This is something truly amazing. So, there's a little bit of mystery in here. Recently, a trailer for a trailer came out today. This trailer showed a video, a little bit of file footage, showing and saying, "Are you ready?" And it said, "Yes." "Are you sure you're ready?" "Yes." Stay tuned for tomorrow. This was released by the people that made Dying Light. Now, just what exactly is going to be on here, we can only speculate. But it must be something truly amazing to make a teaser for a teaser. I really doubt that it's going to be the game released by itself. Maybe a demo for the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, maybe a demo for the PC. That would be fantastic. I would love to get my hands on the demo because that game looks amazing. But really, we don't know. It's just there. And it is a video, and we'll have the video in the description because we can't really show the video on ours because we didn't make it. So it'll be down in the description below. What do you think about that?
Or teaser for a teaser. Never actually heard a company doing that before.
Teaserception.
Yes,
Yes.
It's T-ception.
T-ception.
And that's
Ception.
something like that.
Yes.
Honestly, I haven't heard anything about Dying Light. All I've done is I walked through Best Buy and I saw that you could pre-order it, and I was like, holy crap, I want to pre-order this game. Then I saw at the time they only had PlayStation 4 pre-orders in because PlayStation 4 wasn't even out yet at the time. So I honestly considered pre-ordering it because I was going to get a PlayStation 4. I never did, so thankfully I know I'm not going to for some years now. Maybe once it becomes the price that the PlayStation 3 is now, which then the PlayStation 5 will be out and it'll just be worthless by that point. But honestly, I really want to get this game from like what I've just heard about it from Cody and from online gaming forums. It sounds like it's going to be amazing. So I'm actually looking forward to this.
Yeah, another great mystery about Dying Light is it doesn't really have a set in stone release date. The release date, if you go to Steam or any type of pre-order area, it says it's going to be released in March. But the day of in March isn't anywhere set in stone. So it could be March 1st, March 30th, or they can just push it back all the way like Watch Dogs did, which I really hope they don't do because March is kind of pushing the envelope when you can play games and you're ready to leave. So, yes. And that has been Hey Hi Tech Talks. Stay tuned for this coming Thursday, and we'll be showcasing a truly amazing piece of technology that I think you all will love. Stay tuned tomorrow. I'm Cody.
I'm Zach.
We'll see you later.